Hello, everybody, and welcome in. It's time for another video. We are going to do our weekly college football awards. First time we're doing it here on YouTube. We've done from week 0 up until now week 4. If you want to check out those videos, they're over on our TikTok. Please go check us out over there. We really appreciate it. A couple of ground rules before we get into the awards here. You can be nominated for every single award, but every school can only win one award per week. You can't win multiple awards. Just kind of like to mix it up and get some shine put on some other schools. The other rule is if you played an FCS school, the game does not count. Essentially, so say you played them, you put up 700 yards of offense, scored 80 points, it doesn't matter. Or if you played them on defense, they only had 20 yards and you shut them out, it doesn't matter for best defense. You need to play an FBS school to be eligible for being nominated in an award. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in and give you the awards for the best offense, defense, team, and the game from our Week 4 slate. All right, starting off as we always do on the offensive side of the ball, these are our three nominees for the best offense of Week 4. To start us off, we got Oregon. They had 42 points, 522 total yards. They also had 30 first downs and one turnover on the offensive side of the ball. Our next nominee is going to be the University of Texas. They played Baylor on the road. They had 38 points. All right, next up we have the University of Texas. They were on the road at Baylor this past weekend. They scored 38 points. They had 503 total yards of offense. They did turn the ball over two times, though. And our third and final nominee for best offense of Week 4 is Washington State. 38 points, 528 total yards, two turnovers at home against Oregon State. This was a really awesome performance to see. Cam Ward, I think, is putting his name in the Heisman race, and it was a great game. We're going to talk about that again here in a little bit. But our winner for best offense of Week 4 is going to be Washington State. Again, just the way they were able to move the ball. Cam Ward has over 1,300 yards passing through 4 games so far this season. He also hasn't thrown an interception yet. The way he improved from last season to this season, the growth that he went through is unprecedented. I am really excited to see what Washington State can do moving forward. So Washington State is going to win the award for best offense of Week 4. Let's flip to the other side of the ball now. We got the best defense award. We have four nominees this week. We have Ohio State, Jacksonville State, Penn State, and Oklahoma. Let's go over each of the nominees. Ohio State, 14 points allowed on the road at Notre Dame. That was an amazing game. 351 total yards allowed. They did not force a turnover. Let's look at Jacksonville State shutout. A huge result for them. 152 yards allowed, 57 yards on the ground. Eastern Michigan is a very good running team. The fact that they were able to hold them to 57 yards is astonishing. They also forced three turnovers, so a great weekend for Jacksonville State at home that lands them on the best defense list. The next nominee is Penn State. They also pitched a shutout, 76 total yards allowed, four forced turnovers against Iowa at home. Absolutely ridiculous numbers to put up. And the fourth and final nominee is Oklahoma. They were on the road at Cincinnati, 6 points allowed, 376 yards allowed. They also forced two turnovers. The best defense is got to be Penn State here. I mean, there was really no other option. The other three were good, but they weren't on the same level as Penn State. The fact that they held a Division I FBS Power 5 offense to 76 yards, and again, I understand it was wet, sloppy conditions, and, everybody likes to make jokes about Iowa's offense, but holding them to 76 total yards, forcing 4 turnovers is absolutely insane. A huge environment up there for Penn State in the whiteout game. They absolutely deserve this award this week. Let's go to now our best team award. Oregon is going to be one of our nominees, as well as Penn State and Ohio State. Oregon, we already talked about their offense. On the defensive side of the ball, they only gave up 6 points, 199 total yards allowed, and no forced turnovers. The thing about looking at that 199 yards, it was like 100 yards coming into the fourth quarter, and for most of that quarter, their defense played very, very well the entire game. Obviously, only giving up a touchdown late, but huge result for them at home against Colorado. The next nominee, we talked about Penn State's defense. Let's talk about their offense. They scored 31 points. They did not turn the ball over, and they had 397 total yards. So their offense looked just as equally impressive as their defense did. Again, in not ideal conditions, a heavy rainstorm was rolling through the entire game, but they were able to move the ball efficiently, and that got them a huge win at home to start their second game in Big Ten play. Then the third and final nominee for best team of week 4 is going to be Ohio State. They scored, we already talked about the defense, the offense. They scored 17 points. They had 366 total yards and no turnovers. A huge result for them. They came into this game against Notre Dame. A lot of people were doubting them, questioning them. Obviously, we heard Ryan Day's post game press conference. We heard everybody talking beforehand, questioning their toughness and if this team was really as good as what people in Ohio State and Columbus thought. And it turns out that is absolutely the case this season. But the winner for best team of week 4 is going to go to Oregon. Again, the way they came out and they dominated both sides of the ball against Colorado. They exposed a lot of weaknesses, but still, just the hype that was around Colorado coming into this game, the way Colorado had looked through their first 3 weeks, the way they've been able to move the ball. Shador Sanders was obviously putting his name up in the Heisman consideration, Heisman talks. Travis Hunter missing did make an impact. I don't think it would have made up 26 points. But regardless, a huge win for Oregon as they get ready to start their Pac 12 season here. Now they're going to go on the road to Stanford. High expectations around the Ducks right now following that win. And now it is time for the last award that we give out every week, and that's going to be the best game of the week. We have 3 nominees for best game. First up, we have Florida State at Clemson. The next game is Ohio State at Notre Dame. And then we have Oregon State at Washington State. Let's talk about all 3 of these games and then give you our winner. First up, we have Florida State at Clemson. This started the entire Saturday off. This was the noon kickoff on ABC. This was a ton of fun to watch. Florida State pulls it out in overtime, 17-14. There was 740 total yards of offense. Clemson missed the go-ahead field goal with a minute and 45 seconds left. Uh, Florida State tried to drive down the field, kind of stalled out just past midfield, goes to overtime, and then Florida State stops Clemson on a fourth down in overtime to seal the victory. The next game we're going to talk about is Ohio State at Notre Dame. Ohio State wins 17-14 on a last-second touchdown as time expired. They crossed the goal line. 717 total yards in this game, and that's a crazy number to look at. And then look at the scores that attests to the defense. Playing that bend but don't break style and really, stiffening up inside the 20-yard line and not letting in as many scores. And the third and final nominee is Oregon State at Washington State. Washington State gets a huge win at home, 38-35. Their second win over a ranked team at home this season. 968 total yards of offense, just shy of 1,000 yards of total offense between the two teams. Oregon State outscored Washington State 21-7 in the fourth quarter. And then if you look at Washington State, Oregon State would go with an onside kick after they went down 3 late, and Washington State recovered it with a minute and 11 seconds left to hold on for the victory. Oregon State was out of timeouts. So again, huge win for Washington State at home to start conference play. And the winner for the best game is I really don't think this was any other choice, no matter how good another game was. It was going to be Ohio State and Notre Dame. The stakes that went into this game, the walk-off touchdown in the final seconds, this game just had everything, and it turned out to be probably a game of the year contender. And I'm excited to see where both of these teams go because neither team's season is derailed, or Notre Dame's especially is not derailed yet. Ohio State's season is kind of boosted, but these are going to be 2 very fun teams to watch going down through the rest of the season. And what an amazing game to not necessarily cap off Saturday night, but to kind of start to wind down week 4. So that'll do it for our Week 4 College Football Awards. Thank you guys so much, as always, for checking us out. We'll be doing this every week from here on out on YouTube as well as TikTok. So again, make sure you guys head over there and check us out. And we will see you guys in the next video.